Hello guys, welcome to RX Tutorials. In this video, we are going to learn how to create this beautiful dashboard. We are going to start from scratch. This dashboard is very dynamic. Here we can filter by the product categories. We have the years, you can filter by the years. And as you can see, this dashboard is very dynamic and really beautiful. So take a seat whilst I take you through this and then we start from scratch. So let's open our new workbook. Let's press Ctrl N to open our new workbook. We can save our workbook. Yeah, customer success dashboard. Make a dashboard too. Save it in document. Yeah. So we will name our worksheet this as the data, and then I'll go to my original dashboard. Ctrl A to copy all. And then I'll paste this, but I'll paste it as values. Yeah, so I have my data here. I just do some small resizing. Yeah, so it's okay. As you can see, as I copied my data as values, I would have to format this, and then I'll format it as date, same as here. Format this as date. Yeah, so I think our data is ready. So we press Ctrl T. So here Excel is saying that Excel automatically recognizes our data and gives us the range for this data. Excel is asking whether our data has headers. Yes, my data has headers. So I have my data. I have my table here. I'll name my table. Yes, make it customer data. You can name it any way you want it. And then, so first of all, we are going to create we're going to create our pivot tables and our charts. And then the second part, we are going to make our dashboard. So let's create our first pivot table. We go back to our dashboard, and in the first chart, we have our sales and profit by year. In the second chart, we have our product categories. So we can go back to our workbook, a new workbook. I'll make a new sheet, name it sales profit by year. So you can click anywhere within the sheet, go to insert and a pivot table. So Excel is asking what's our table name, and we name our table customer data. And then we want to place our pivot table in our existing worksheet. So Excel gives us the range, that is A1, so that is correct. So we have our pivot table open now. In the pivot table fields, we have our filters, the columns, the rows, and the values. So first of all, we want to drag, because in the first chart, we have our sales and profit by the year. So our date will be here. We have our date here. In the date, you can collapse this pane. We have the quarters. You can open up this. We have the month, but I don't need this, so I'll collapse. And then in our order, we have our date. So in the value section, we want the sales, which is here, as values, and the profit also as values. So that is that. So let's insert our chart real quick. In our chart, you can just, let's say you want to a column chart, but we can as well change, because we can as well change our chart, change chart type, and then we use a combo chart. In the combo chart, we would make the sum of the profit. That is our secondary axis. So this is the first way. You can do it this way, or you can click anywhere within your pivot table and then go to the insert chart, and then you go to the combo chart, and then you can choose this. This is the same as the clustered column line on the secondary axis. Or you can choose any chart. You can right click on your chart and then change chart type, and then you can choose the chart you want. So that is our first chart for you. We will leave the formatting of the charts later on during our video, so we can just leave. So this is our first chart. Let's name our pivot table. You click anywhere in the pivot table, you go to the design tab, you go to the pivot table analyze, and then we can name our pivot table. So we can name our pivot table as sales and profit table. Yeah. So we have it's very important for traceability, or to track all your pivot tables, because if you're having, like, let's say 10 pivot tables and you don't name them, it becomes a problem really trying to identify each of the tables. So it's really important if you name your tables, because it makes your work really easier and fancy. So we have our first table and our first chart here. So we are done for our first chart. We'll leave the formatting of the charts later on during the video. We go to the second chart, and in our second chart we have our product categories. So same way as we did, insert our pivot table, some data, existing sheet here, and in this pivot table we are going to create our second chart. Our second chart, we would want to see the product categories, the percentages of the product categories. So I have my category, I'll drag it to the row section, and then in the value section I'll drag my sales field into the value section. But in this case, I want to see the percentages, so I'll click in the value section, or the value column of the pivot table, right click, go to show values as, and then I'll choose percentage of grand total. So I have my percentages. I'll click in the pivot table, go to insert, I'll insert a pie chart. So we have our second chart for you, and then we'll do our third chart. In our third chart, we'll do the sales by product. In the sales by product, we can as well go to the data, go to insert, pivot table. We have our table range, new worksheet, and then we have a new worksheet here. We can name our worksheet as product sales. Yeah. So in this case, in our third chart, we are going to create our product categories by the sales. So what we want in our row section will be our date field. So we want our date field here, and then in the row section I want my category. In my column section I want my category. So I'll drag my category into my column sections, and then my sales as my values. So we have our third chart, and then I'll click anywhere in the table, go to insert. I want to choose a stacked column. So we have our third chart, and then we go to the final chart. In our final chart, we want to find our sales by each country. Customer data, existing worksheet, and then we want our countries, or let's say we have our states, because it's only one country, that is the United States. So we want a different state, and then in the value section, I want the sales for each state. So we have the sales for each state, and then let's try to insert a map chart. I'll choose the field map. Excel says we cannot create this map chart from a pivot table. So what I'll do is I'll copy this table and just paste it as values here. I'll copy my value section, and then I paste it here as well as values. So this is not a pivot table, so you can just Control Shift, and you select your data. So in my data with this, because this is not a table, I can insert a map chart. I can just move the chart up a little bit. So we have our map chart here from this table, which is not a pivot table, but I want my map chart to be directed or redirected to the pivot table. So what I'll do is I'll click on the chart, select data, go to the select data, and then so Excel is showing us that the range of this data, but I don't want this chart to be connected to this data. I want it to be connected to my pivot table. So I'll change this. It will be AB. So you see the first data was range D to E, but in our pivot table we have A to B. So I'll just change that. Click OK. So now I have my chart, which is directly linked to my pivot table. So we have all our 4 charts ready. I can name my sheet as country sales, and then let's not forget to name each of our pivot table. We go to the pivot table analyze, and this table I'll name it state sales. Yeah, let's name this sheet as well. This will make it our product sales percentage to really differentiate from the other one. Product sales percentage, and then I'll go and name my table as well. Sales percentage. Yes, this has been named already. So we have all our 4 pivot tables and our 4 charts ready. We have all our 4 charts ready. So now we are going to create the template for our dashboard. So we go to, I'll name this dashboard. You can change the tab color to choose any color. So in my dashboard, I'll first of all go to the view, and then I want to remove my grid lines. So we have a plane, and then I want to change my background, the page background. For that, I'll go to the page layout. I'll go to the background here. So in my background, we can browse, and then my background is in my tools on my desktop. So it's here. So we have our background here. You can as well, you can go back, you can as well select this, select all from here, and then you can just change the background color. But in this case, I'd want to insert, because I already have my background with the color. So I would want to insert my background. So I'll just insert this. So we have our background. So we are going to create a template for the dashboard. In that case, I'll go to insert, I'll go to the shapes, and then I'll insert just a normal rectangle. So just create any shape, but even before that, we can just create our headings. So I would want to create my headings here, and then next we'll move on to the template. So I'll create my headings. I'll go to insert, go to pictures, insert from device. First of all, I want my logo here, so we can just drag it here a little bit, and then I would want to create my heading here. So I'll go to insert, go to the text, we'll create a text box, and name this customer success dashboard. I'll center my text, and then with the text I'll change my font size. I'll change my font size to be 32. Just increase it to, yeah. So I have my heading here. I want to align this, yeah, and then I'll press Ctrl 1 to format the shape. This shape with a fill, I would want no fill, and with a line, no line, yeah. And then I can change the text to be white, and then I'll make it bold. So as you can see, our dashboard is slowly picking up the shape. Just want to drag this a little bit here. So we have our headings created. Resize this to a little, yeah, smaller. So we can go back to our template. In our template, I have my first shape. So when we go back to our original, we have our first template, and in this template we have our various divisions. So I'll create my first template. You can really resize this to any size you want. So in my first template, I would want to change Ctrl 1 to open the format data series or the format shape. In this shape, I'd want to, this will be black, and then I'll change the transparency of this. So in the transparency, I would want 51% transparency, a little bit transparent. I'll go to the format shape. I don't want any line. So transparency to be 51. Sorry about that. So I have my first template, and then in my first template, I want to create my divisions. So I'll go to insert, I'll go to insert shapes, and then in the normal rectangle, I'll make it really small. So our first division, I'll make it really small, and then I'll change the color of this to be that, and then I'll change the transparency to be a little bit, let's see, actually 78%. Resize this, and then in the line I want no line. Let me just resize a little bit. So we can look at our original. We have our divisions, which is the division is a little, so we can resize it to be smaller, and then our vertical division here as well. So let's resize this. We can copy, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and then we can just drag and turn this, resize this, just open it up a little bit. Just drag this, make it a little bit smaller. So we have our first template. We can copy our template, so we have our second template. Let's copy and paste. So I'll make this a little bigger here, and then I'll resize this to fit, to be in line with this. Okay, let me just resize a little bigger. So you can, if you want, you can just click on the template, on the shape, and then you can resize it, change the size. If you want to make all of them equal, it depends on how you want it. So you can resize it to any size you want, but in this case I'll fit this to be in line with this. So we have our template here, and then so what we are going to do, our template is ready. We are going to bring our charts in our template, and then create our headings for each chart. Then in the last part we can create our smaller charts. So we go back, so our template is ready. We can make the divisions for the second, the third, and the fourth template. So you can just copy this. The second template, you have our division here. You can fit it, or you can just place it in the middle, really smaller. So that's our second template, and then you can copy, paste it, and then bring it down here. This is where we would have our customer demographics. Here, because when we look at our chart, let's place it here, and then in our last part we don't have any division, so that's okay. So we have our templates ready, and then we'll bring our charts. So in our first chart we have We can cut or copy paste. Go to our dashboard. Yeah, place this here. Just resize this and just push it a little bit here. Yeah, just resize this. So we copy and paste all our charts. So we go to here, we copy this, paste it here. We can resize this. Yeah. And then we copy this, our third chart. Yes. Paste this here. Just resize this. Let's copy our last chart. Resize our chart to fit in our template. Yeah. So we have all our charts here. Now we can do our formatting. So in this chart, Control 1 to open the format chart area. You can as well click on the chart and go to format. But I prefer to use this one. So in my chart, I don't want any fill. Select no fill. And then with the line, no line. I'll right click on the chart to remove hide all filled buttons. I don't want my legend because I'll create a new legend here. Yes. I don't want my chart title as well. So I want to change the colors for the chart. So I'll click on the chart, go to the design tab, and then you can always choose any of the colors here. But in this case, I would want to do a custom formatting of this. I wouldn't want to change this by, you can select each of the charts or each of the divisions of the chart. So if I want to select this, then you go to the fill button, and then we can always change the colors here. You can always change the colors here. So when we look, our furniture had brown, and this is our custom color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my custom colors here. So I'll click on this, go to the page layout, go to colors, and then I'll choose my custom colors. So in my first color, I would want my first color to be my green color. So in my green color, you go to the custom, and then we'll change the hex value. My hex value for the green color is this, FF99. My second color, small colors, go to custom, and then you can change the hex value. That's our second color. And my third color, that's the brown color. This 2 1, and then I'll save this. But in this case, I want to change this color to be my brown one. That's a hex value. Most of you guys know that about hex values if you are familiar with design. So this first part, and then in my second part, just double click to select only this section. And our second section is a green color. So in my second section, I'll go to more colors, go to custom, and in my custom I'll put in this hex value 6699. Yeah, and this also I'll change this to my custom color. That is a violet color. So we have our colors ready. So I'm done with this chart, and with this, the bar chart is okay, but I would want to change the line chart color. But first of all, let's change this. So we remove the fill, and then we have no line. Take off the grid lines and the legend. So we can remove the filled buttons, hide all filled buttons, and then we change this color. Press Ctrl 1 to open the format data series. I want to change the color of this to a custom color. I want to make it a little more deeper to really distinguish between the profit and sales. 09. So this is a little bit deeper, so we can resize this, yeah, to make it bigger. Let's resize this. Let's add data labels here to our pie chart. Now data labels, click at the right end, and then we want to make our data labels data callout. In my callout, I want to remove the category and just leave out the values. So I'll uncheck this category name, and then I only want the values. So with this, I can just resize this to have yeah. So I think my pie chart is okay. I want to format my line chart. Go to the effect. We take the transparency to be 15%. Okay. And then our distance, let's make it 2. Yeah, so it gives it that shadow and that glowing effect. We can change our text options. Let's change our font color to be white, same as here. It's white. Yeah. So our dashboard is gradually picking up. We have formatted this. We formatted this as well. The pie chart. We can move to the stacked column. We open up the format chart area. In this chart area, I want to remove the fill, so I select no fill. I want to remove lines. I want to take off the grid lines and take off the legend as well. Change the format of this, change the color of this. In my text options, I want to change this to be white. All this, the axis labels also to be white as well. And then I want to hide all the filled buttons. I want my data labels. So we see that when we want to put on our data labels, because our values, they are bigger than the size of our column, so I would want to do a custom formatting. So I'll click on the series, press Ctrl 1 to open series, format data labels, and then I'll click on the number. I want to change this to a custom formatting. In my custom formatting, I have my $sign, the number comes, and then the comma in there, and my thousands. So this is how I want it. So you see that it neatly fits in the chart. I'll change the text options. I'll go to the text options, change the color to white. I'll select my second data series, change the text options as well to white. Go to my labels options, and in my labels option, I'll go to my category. I'll choose a custom formatting. And the last series as well, choose a custom formatting. Go to my text options, choose white, and then I want to take off this. I want to take off the vertical axis. So I want to take off the vertical axis, leave out the horizontal axis. So my stack chart is ready. Next, we go and format our map chart. In my map chart, I want to change my color. Click on select the chart, go to chart design, and then I'll change the chart design to this color. Take off the chart title, the legend as well, and then I want to open the data chart format chart area. Go to in my chart options, I want to select the series, and then with the series color, you can as well change it. With the map projection, we can as well change to any Mercator, the Miller, and then Albus, but I would want to put it to automatic. In my map area, we have, if you want to see only the regions with data, you want to see the country or the regions or multiple countries, but I'll put it on to automatic. And then in the labels, you can choose a best fit, or you can choose show all. So I would show all my labels. So as you can see, you can see all the labels. So I'm done. So we go to the left section of my customer demographics, where let's take a look at our original dashboard. We have our customer demographics. This is the number of customers in the regions. So I'll create a new sheet. I'll rename this customer demographics. Then I'll insert a pivot table, customer data. In my pivot table, I'll look for the regions. The regions will be in my row section, and my values will be the sales values. But in this case, I want a count of the transactions. So you can click here, go to the value field settings and change it to count. So I have a count of the transactions. I can rename this column here, total customers. This is my regions. Let's go back to my dashboard. So what I'm going to do a cell referencing. I'm going to insert a text box, because when you look at the original dashboard, we have the value here and then the region. So I can insert, let's say I have my regions, this is West. I can just center this. So with the text box selected, I can copy, Ctrl C to copy, and then paste. So you can just drag them to fill this. So this is my West, South, East, and Central. This will be South. This will be Central. This is my East. So we have all our regions displayed here. So we can go to the customer demographic sheet, and then we can do a cell referencing of all the regions. That for the West. And the total customers as well. On our dashboard sheet, we go to insert, and then we insert a text box. So this text box is going to display our values for all the regions. That's our total customers in all the regions. So with the text box selected, we go to the formula bar. We are going to do a cell referencing. That is C5. So we can copy and then paste this, and then just change the cell referencing to reflect the values. So for that of South is C4. And that of Central is C2. That of East is C3. So we have all our values displayed here, and then we can format our values. Our text box, I don't want any fill, no line, and then we can increase our font size to, let's say, 24. Stretch this to contain this, and then we change it to our custom color, and then we make it bold. So with this selector, we can just do a format painter to this, also to this. Yeah, so we have all our values, and then we can just resize. So let's align this You select both of the text box. We go to shape format. We select align. Let me align to the top and then align to the middle as well. So let's align these two. Let's drag this yellow down. We align this also to the top, also to the middle. Let me align this to the right. Yeah. Also this to the right. Stretch this. We can align the labels as well. Middle. This. Control. Then we align this to the middle as well. Gradually, our dashboard is taking shape. We can format this, remove the fill, remove the line, change the text to white, make it bold, and then we can just select this, format painter, do the same for this. No line, and then make this white. Just do a format painter, select the text, remove the fill, no line. So let's remove the fill for the map. I don't want any line. Yes. So our customer demographics section is looking good. Then we go to, when we take a look at the original dashboard, in this we have the total customers displayed and the sum of the top 10 transactions also displayed. So I go to my dashboard, and then to create this I have to create a helper chart. With this helper chart I'll be able to display, that is the chart for the total customers and that for the top 10 transactions. So I can create this also in this same sheet. Insert pivot table. In this pivot table, I want my customer name, and in the customer name I want the sum of the sales, but I want to filter for the top 10 customers based on the sales. So I'll click at the row label anywhere, right click, and then go to filter. I'll filter by top 10, and then you want to filter by the sum of sales. Of course, that's the only value there. So we have the top 10 by sales, and then we can do a cell referencing of the value. Next chart, let's insert another pivot table here. And in this pivot table, I want the years, so I want the order date, and also I want the sales, but in the sales I want the value to show me the count, that is, I want the total number of customers. Then we can do a cell referencing. So with this chart, we can do a chart for the sales transactions. Just insert, and then I just want a normal chart, normal column chart. Can remove all the axes, delete the vertical axis. Yeah, so we can take off all the axes, hide off the field buttons, take off the grid lines and the legend as well. So we can copy this and paste in our dashboard. Yeah, size this. So in our next chart, we will have the sum of the top 10 transactions. With this chart, you can use, of course, you can use a spark lines, but I would prefer to use a chart. Let's go back to this, and with this, let's insert a chart for also this same column chart. Take off the axis, grid lines, and the legend. Hide all the field buttons. Resize the chart, and then I would want to see the sales from the smallest value to the highest value. So then I'll click on here, and then I'll say sort from the smallest to the highest value. So we have our second chart. We can copy or we can cut and paste. We'll place our second chart here. Yeah. So let's format our chart. We can format our chart right away, or we can just put in our values and our labels as well. So with our values, we already have our total customers here. So we can go to the dashboard. We can insert a text box here. With the text box selected, we can do also cell referencing. Center this. We can copy, paste. With it selected, we can change the value and this is 21, C21. So we can just change it here. So we have a value. In the next section, we can just format, remove the fill, remove the line, make a bigger, bigger, change our font color, and then make it bold. You can just format Painter. Just resize this, will be very small. And then we can insert another text box to display a label. So this is total customers. Resize this. Can insert another text box to also display this. Let's insert another text box to also display this. Transactions, and you can resize this. Let's resize this. Yeah. So with the chart selected, remove the fill, remove the line. Let's remove the fill and the line also for this. Let's change the to white. Make it bold. Let's change also this to white. Remove the fill and the line. We'll make it bold as well. Just resize it. Let's remove the fill and the line from the chart. Yeah, it's looking good. Let's resize this to be bigger, and then with the chart selected, I want to change the gap width. Just make it bigger. Same here, you can just change the gap width. Let's make it a little bigger. Yeah, see, yeah, it's okay. Let's resize this to make it bigger. So we are almost done with most of our features. Let's create our legend. To create our legend, I want to create a helper chart, and I'll use this as my legend. So with this, I'll create a new sheet. I'll make a legend. And in this new sheet, I'll insert a pivot table. This pivot table, I'd want to show the order dates here. With the order dates, I want to show the category in the column section. Drag the category in the column section, and then I want to show the sales values in the value section. So with this, I'll insert a line chart, and this line stack chart. So I have my line chart. I'll remove all the filled buttons so I can copy my chart, paste it here. Let's resize this. Okay, take off the fill, the line, take off the grid lines legend. I want to take off all the axes. Let's resize this. Let's bring back the legend. Yeah, so we have it this way. So with this, I'd want to view this from the right side and take this to the right side. Yeah, so we can just resize this to take up. Can increase this. Open up the format, and then we can change the text options to be white, the font of the text. So most of our chart features are done. We have done our total customer sum of the top 10 transactions. We've also created our beautiful legend. As you can see, because I wouldn't want to make all my charts clustered with legends, so I'll create a custom legend here, which this will portray as a spark line or a trend, and then you have my legend here. So we are almost done with all the charts, and then would want to create our slices. In our slices, we can use this chart. Go here, select any of the pivot table, go to insert slices. In my slices, I would want to filter by the year, so I want all the years. I don't want to see these values, so right click, go to slicer settings, and then we check this hide items with no data. So I have my slicer here, and my second slicer as well. I'll go to insert a slicer, and in this I want to see the product category, so I'll check the product category. So I have all my 3 product categories. Select both slices, copy, go to our dashboard, and we can paste both of our slices here. So we have our slices, and then I would want to put my slices on a shape format. So let's go back to our original, and then we have our slices on a shape. It's a rectangle shape with curved angles or edges. So we go to here, insert, we insert our shapes. We want to format our shape, so we can go to the home tab, just choose this color, open the format pane. I want to take off the line, so we can copy and paste here. So I want to place this on this shape. First of all, I want to format my slices to have 3 columns. So with the slicer selected, go to slicer, and the columns, I want to see 3 columns. Sorry, let's make it 4. We have from 2017 to 2020. With the category here, there are 3 columns. So with this, I can make it 3 columns. So I also have my slices, and then for the years, as well as my product category. So let's format our shape. So with our shape selected, we can go to shape format, shape effects, and I want this preset, just effect. I can format this and make this the same. So with our shapes formatted, you can just drag this and then select the shape, go to the shape format, go to send backward, and we say send to back. Same as this, we can drag this here, and with our shape selected, we go to shape format and then send to back, so we can resize to fit in the shape. Let's center this. Yeah, so select the slicer, right click, go to report connections. We have to connect our slices to all our pivot tables. With this slicer also selected, go to report connections. And then connect it to all our tables. So we have to insert our headings for all the charts. So take this shape, and with this shape selected, the shape fill, we want that color. Let's take off the outline to be no outline, and then let's insert a text box which will display our header. So we'll name this sales by year. Can resize this to fit, and then we can open the format and remove the fill in the line. Can select the text, make it white and bold. Copy and then paste the shapes here as well, as we can copy the text and then paste it here. You can repeat this for all the 4 charts. This also, let's place this here. Let's select this and put it here, same as this. So we can just simply resize this, make the font a little bigger. This will be our product category. Select this, let's center this, same as this. This will be our customer demographics. Graphics, resize it, and let's center this as well. Let me just increase product category. Can just increase this. Let's increase the size a little bit. Let's resize this. Let's resize this. So our chart is almost ready. Yeah. So we have our beautiful dashboard which showcases our sales and profit by year product category, customer demographics, and also our sales and profit. This is score we labeled as sales by product, sales by product. Center this as well. Let's increase, yeah. So let's see, we can filter by the years. See that everything dynamically changes. We can also filter by category. Everything dynamically changes. So last part of the video, I would want to insert our image here or icon. So we go to pictures, insert pictures from this device. Let's drag this over here, resize this. Let's resize it more. Yeah, it's okay. So our dashboard is looking very beautiful. So let's try our dashboard out. So we want to filter this by the product category. As you can see, everything dynamically changes. You can have a look at our legend. Our legend also changes. Our legend colors, everything dynamically. Our labels, our values, everything changes. You can filter by the years. Everything dynamically changes. So we come to the end of this video. Such a beautiful time. I urge you all to subscribe to my channel, RX Tutorials. Expect more exciting videos, more videos from Python, from Tableau, from Microsoft Power BI, a lot of tools that we will learn. Subscribe to my channel and I would say bye.